Hello everyone, this is Mizuki Ravendale coming at you with a different type of video today. To be specific here, me and Shadow, aka Kai, aka Fang, you guys know him. He's also my boyfriend.
Is this thing on?
Yes.
Weird.
We're gonna be talking about an anime we just recently got done watching, and that's Hellsing.
More, just so that people are curious, because there's two Hellsing animes. We watch Hellsing Ultimate.
Yes, we watched Hellsing Ultimate. We haven't watched the first one yet.
But I think we will be getting to that.
Eventually.
Yeah, because I've been obsessed with Hellsing.
Yeah, he has, which that ain't a bad thing. I personally like it as well.
And it's one of those cases of which I know that, a lot of your audience, comes from the fact that, you voice Ruby Rose. And yeah. I don't want to say, I don't want to offend any of my fellow Ruby fans when I say this, but I think they handled Seras Victoria's
losing her arm
a lot better than what Ruby did with Yane. I really hate to say that about my girl, but I have to be honest. Or B, I'm saying this because I am fucking obsessed. I'm so fucking obsessed with this anime that I legit.
It's a really good anime if you're. How to describe this?
Okay. If you are into dark, if you are into dark shows or movies like horror, especially vampire movies, not Twilight. If you watch Twilight, those are not vampires.
No.
Those are not vampires.
No.
Vampires don't fucking sparkle.
No, they don't. Vampires are like Alucard.
And Seras.
Yeah, and Seras.
Let me apologize for my yawn.
Oh, that's okay, babe.
But I'm so obsessed that I legit ordered the reissue Hellsing manga from Dark Horse Comics. There's going to be 3 volumes. I just ordered the first one. The second one comes out next month. And the third one comes out next year in March. So, yeah, I'm a full-blown Hellsing fan now. And watching it for the very first time, I knew that I would like it. And I knew from, the little clips, how brutal the anime was.
Oh, yeah.
But those were just little clips. I didn't realize how brutal it was until we got to, the crucial point of the show, and I didn't realize how dark it was. There's 3 moments in particular that made me very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, and I know specifically which ones those are.
And I'm gonna vaguely explain them just so that we don't have YouTube being like, oh, you can't say that on our platform.
Oh, but yeah.
Let's just say that Seras almost gets something that happens to her in the first episode. Well, first volume. Well, actually, the first, because it's made up of 10 volumes, and they're pretty much around 40 to 50 to about an hour long.
Oh yeah, especially volume 10.
So pretty much Hellsing Ultimate is more closer to the manga than the first anime adaptation of it. Which, in my opinion, I saw a few episodes of that. It's still pretty good. I do have to say the Hellsing Ultimate is a lot better. Because in the original series, Seras already has red eyes, while in Hellsing Ultimate,
she has
they make it a mandate that you have to drink somebody's blood.
Oh yeah.
You become a full-blown vampire. And Alucard was wanting her to drink his at first, and Seras refused. I'm going off a tangent here. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah. Now God, I can go all over play with this. But pretty much in the first maybe like 5 minutes of the first volume, which ironically enough, they actually call it volumes.
Oh yeah, they do.
So there's a little bit of familiar territory with Ruby. I don't know if that's intentional on Ruby's part. I don't know if they're Hellsing fans or not. I would be kind of... I mean, I don't want to judge people based on their politics, but, I would be kind of surprised if they are Hellsing fans.
Oh, yeah, because of some of the stuff that happens in it. Yeah.
But, during, like, the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I don't remember. I know that it was early on. Seras gets something that almost happens to her. That no person should go through.
Nope.
The second thing was something that happened to Alucard as a kid.
Which I felt bad for him about.
Yeah. The third thing happened before the whole Alucard thing. And, during the whole Battle of London. With the Millennium Group, pretty much the Third Reich.
Yep.
Yes. I don't want to get this video restricted. However, I do... See, the problem with talking about a series like this that they feature certain imagery is that YouTube does not like it when you talk about certain things on platforms.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a form of censorship. I don't like censorship. However, I have to play by the YouTube rules. So pretty much, a lot of these people are old remnants of a certain army during World War II that may or may not have been from Germany, with a certain flag, with a certain image that is very much a no-no nowadays, because it represents... They start with an N and end with a S.
Yep, that's all we're saying. I'm pretty sure
that's all we're saying.
I'm pretty sure everybody that has studied history will know what we're talking about.
So there are certain things in the show that will make a average anime fan uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Now, if your only experience with anime is like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball, shonen type animes.
Yeah.
And feel free to jump in here anytime. This is your this.
I know. I'm just.
I don't want to take over your video.
Yeah, hey. It's fine. I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, if you guys have seen any of those type of animes and then you go and watch this one, you're going to be feeling very uncomfortable. I'm just putting that out there. Only at certain parts.
Certain things. It does get pretty brutal. It does get pretty bloody and gory at time. Well, actually, probably about maybe like 90% of the time.
Yep, and just in case, this is just a just in case scenario because I know our audiences. You are like 13. Do not watch this.
If you do see, here's the thing though, is that if you can handle it, yeah. Yeah.
But if you can't, don't.
This anime is not for very sensitive people.
Yeah, it is not.
It is extremely dark. It is extremely violent.
Yeah.
However, the story is amazing. Especially Seras Victoria's arc. And Alucard's arc as well is awesome. And, I've come to realize that, I'm looking forward to Volume 8 of Ruby, but... And I'm definitely going to watch, and obviously, we are going to get... we are going to get the first membership again.
Yeah.
It's just, I came to the realization, watching the animes we've been watching, because we've been watching a crap ton of anime this year. Actually, to be honest, I've watched more anime this year than I ever in my life.
We've watched what? We watched Yu Yu Hakusho.
We watched Gurren Lagann.
Watched Gurren Lagann because I never watched Gurren Lagann. He's never watched Yu Yu.
We watched Hellsing Ultimate. We are currently watching
Gundam.
both. We are
And then we're watching the OG Yu-Gi-Oh! On both dub and sub.
And then we're also watching Dragon Ball.
Yep, and sub.
So, you know, watching a lot of these animes this year has made me realize, like, as much as I still love Ruby, as much as I still want to get invested with the story, I've kind of realized how much Ruby could be a lot better than what it already is. You know,
it could have been a lot.
And, like, I feel like they were really going somewhere with, like, the Battle of Beacon when it comes to the darkness and how dark the show can get. And I think, in a way, like, I wouldn't mind if they made Ruby a bit more darker.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't mind it either, especially with all the Grimm and Salem. You would think it would be a bit darker.
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't mind if there was more tragedy on the hero side. Because, in a way, this relates to the Hellsing conversations, because in Hellsing, Millennium was a very formative foe. As soon as they get to London, and other, and all of the soldiers drop out, they have completely destroyed London, killed pretty much everyone in there except for 3 people, well technically 5 people, actually 6. Probably about, like, maybe, I know that there were still some people in London that are still alive, but when it comes to the Hellsing organization, there's technically only 5. There was Alucard, Integra, Seras,
and then the two guys from Pips.
Though the wild geese.
Yeah. Rip Pip.
And in a lot of ways, you know, Ruby could very much be that dark. To where there's this, all of a sudden though, there's like this moment of, can we really beat Salem? Can we really beat the Grin? Because in Hellsing Ultimate, let's be honest, if it wasn't for Seras turning into a true vampire, and if it wasn't for Alucard getting there right at the perfect time, and also Integra telling him to remove pretty much all of his restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
The Hellsing organization would have been over.
Yeah, they would have been... Yeah, the Hellsing organization just would have been gone.
And in a lot of ways, you know, the writers of Ruby could learn a lot from Hellsing of trying to have those risks be there, because, you know, like, I knew once Millennium was introduced, and even, you know, your favorite Foxy waifu, can't even say this, as soon as the major appearance created, my immediate response was, "Oh shit,
yeah,
we're getting close."
Yeah, and that was like what, in volume 4 or 5 when they showed the
it might have been volume 2, volume 3, but I knew like immediately, oh, we're getting close.
Yeah, that's going. Yeah, I think we are.
And I had this legit. I freaking had this. All of a sudden, this like tension in my gut. Like, I knew that it was going to be like, not so much tension in my gut, but what's the feeling? I was feeling very anxious because I knew that was coming up. And I knew that it was going to get brutal. It was going to get extremely brutal. And probably what I love about it too, like when the blimps come and the major is doing his whole speech and he has like a glass of champagne. Well, it's probably wine, or it could be champagne. And he drops it. They start playing this very happy, well, not happy song, this very anti-war song.
That sounds happy.
That sounds happy. And I'm like, I'm surprised there hasn't been certain people on the internet that have tried to get that anime canceled. Because I'm sitting here like, this checks off all the boxes of what they don't like. I know that. But at the same time, though, too, it's like, see, I'm trying my best here, which again, that's what I'm telling you to jump in here anytime.
I know. I'm trying to think of what, to jump. Anyways, as you were talking about.
In a lot of ways, and also, you guys, this is unscripted, and again, too, like, I don't want to make this, and I want you to understand this, babe. I don't want this to be my video.
I know. I know it's my video. I'm just listening to what you're saying. That way I can jump in.
Okay. Jeez, Foxy Waifu getting a little salty over here.
I am wow.
But just to get back with what Ruby could learn from Hellsing.
They could learn a good amount.
Stop making them survive every encounter they go through.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
And I've said this to Fox's wife here. I've said this to our friends. Ruby's group had it a bit too easy.
Yeah, they did. Because, legit, if they wanted to, when, Adam cut off Yang's arm, they could have legit had Adam kill her if they wanted to. I'm just putting that out there. That could have happened.
What does that have to do with anything that I'm talking about?
You was talking about how they survive every time, and I'm just saying.
True.
Yeah, I was just saying that could have happened, but it didn't. Because
they
had more plans.
The only major loss that they really had, okay, yes, Haven was gone pretty much because, Leonhardt was a coward, which as it turns out, he was based on the Cowardly Lion from the Wizard of Oz, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then Beacon, and then they also lost Pyrrha. And, some people might want to throw out there that they lost Clover. No. The only one that gave two shits about Clover was Crow.
Yeah, he legit. Crow was the only one.
And in my opinion, the show's going to be fine without the Aesops.
Yeah, plus from what all we saw, it looks like the Aesops are still going to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, so I can see it happening in two ways. I can see it either they're going to probably die, or B, it's going to be some typical kumbaya shit. Like, oh, we're sorry. No. Teach these characters a lesson, for one. Because in freaking real life, you're not always going to be able to settle shit by apologizing.
Nope.
Anyways, getting back to the Hellsing talk, again, it's very easy to compare Ruby with other animes because...
Yeah. Can I just point out that one scene in Hellsing that we both thought was freaking adorable as hell?
Oh yeah, the scene where Seras gets so excited to see Dracula.
Yeah, to see her master again.
And then, of course, she points out that he has a mustache, and then...
She does the most adorable little kitty face. It's so cute.
And then, Dracula puts her head, gives her head pats, and he goes, I want to apologize to any Dracula fangirls out there when I'm getting ready to do this,
but... no.
Yes, Seras. My Seras Victoria.
Meep! I'm just gonna meep to that.
And that smile they gave each other. Now, a lot of Hellsing... There's some Hellsing fans out there that think that Alucard and Seras has a father and daughter type of relationship. However, what the actual maker of the manga said is doesn't support that theory at all.
No, it does not.
The creator of Hellsing stated in an interview at Otakon 2016, her relationship with Alucard is very complicated, since many things mix together, like being part of the same kind, comrade, or from Seras' point of view, probably Alucard is the master of teacher, certainly. Of course, there is the feeling of love also, could be something closer to the ties of familiarship. When we question about them having a father-daughter relationship, the author answered, there's no one way to discuss how Alucard and Seras feels about their relationship. We cannot say it's just father and daughter. Moreover, the theory that is a master and slave relationship was rejected by him, saying that at first they were saying it should be master slave, but then they changed their minds and said no, master slave is the relationship between Alucard and Integra. So we cannot call Alucard and Seras master and slave. So
technically, in a way.
So what he's pretty much saying there, it's complicated. And it could be one of those things too, like he could have not even thought of what their actual relationship is. Now, to majority of Hellsing fans, the more popular Hellsing ship is Alucard and Seras. And I truly believe, if you go by the lore of Dracula, because Alucard in Hellsing is the same Dracula in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Okay?
Yes, this is true.
What was the one thing he was trying to get in that book? To get, to find one girl that he could love.
Yes.
Right? That happened to be Mina Harker. Which, as it turns out, Mina Harker also exists in Hellsing.
This is true.
Now, here's the thing. Technically, they kind of added this alternate ending to Bram Stoker's Dracula, because in the book, she turns human. She goes back to human. In Hellsing, she's still a vampire.
Yeah, that is true, because...
And that's how Millennium is able to turn their people into vampires. That's why they're so powerful. But the problem is that the Dracula DNA or essence that was still inside Mina, because that could be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, that could be, but it was in her bones.
Yeah, bones. Again, that could always be taken the wrong way. Anyways, moving on.
Moving along.
Was from during that time of Bram Stoker's Dracula, so Alucard was still, it was weaker than how he is now.
Oh yeah.
That's why he was able to kick their ass. The only person that gave him trouble
I think the only person that gave him trouble
was Anderson.
Yeah,
Anderson gave him the most trouble.
Yeah, it was Anderson.
And Walter.
Yep. Anderson and Walter gave him the most trouble.
And to me, too, like, going by what I know about the lore of Dracula, and before anyone says this, keep in mind, again, it's confirmed it is the same Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah.
It is confirmed because Dr. Van Helsing is in Hellsing in the whole flashback scene.
That is true, he is.
The difference is Dracula doesn't die at his castle. Dr. Van Helsing takes him back to London, experiments on him, and turns him into pretty much the servant, and turns him into a more powerful being than what he already is.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, Mina in Hellsing looks a lot like Seras, so maybe that's also could be why he turned her.
Yeah, because we're not for sure on this, but we kind of talked about that. What if Seras is like Mina's descendant?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I'm just saying, like, we don't know for sure because they don't go much in depth about Seras's family. But it's possible she is a descendant of Mina. It's a possibility.
Oh yeah. Speaking of fourth thing that made me uncomfortable, that one scene during her
Oh
her
yeah.
childhood flashback.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
But and they even say here during Alucard's fight with Anderson, Seras comes to his rescue and a desperate attempt to save him. After stopping the truck by Anderson, Seras, alarmed, calls Alucard back from torpor. The last visage in his dreams was Seras' face, ending the flashback in chapter with the words, there is a voice calling out, "It's you." Before facing Anderson, he compliments her. "Why so loud, police girl? Your voice sounds fine, regardless, like fragments of shattered melody." By volume 9, Alucard thoroughly recognizes Seras' growth and tells her, "Go with our master, go and conquer Seras." Later he describes her as a servant who loves only him.
Yep. That don't sound like a father-daughter relationship to me.
So, pretty much, there's I mean, I can't blame people for saying that if they have a father and daughter relationship, but knowing what Alucard says and knowing what the author says, there's something more there than just that.
Oh yeah. There's something way more than just that.
And I don't think Seras loves Pip. I don't think she does. And I hate to say this because, I do ship Seras and Pip as well. The only reason why Pip got her to kiss him was so that she could get,
a taste for his blood.
His blood, so that she can finally do what she needs to do. Because, first and foremost, okay, just now, this is in two different contexts. And this is going to be the last Hellsing and Ruby comparison I make here. There's two different contexts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kinda, not really. You both have Ruby and Hellsing. Both, there's a big war going on in one location. Ruby, there's the Battle Beacon, which is also taking place in Vale as well.
Yep.
And then there's Hellsing, who is taking place in all of London. You have a blonde girl that can change eyesight when they're getting angry.
Oh, this is true.
That loses their arm by a much more powerful foe.
Oh yeah.
Now that is where the that is where the comparison ends. Yane ends up passing out in Blake's arms, and Adam leaves because I forgot why he left.
I think he left because shiz. I think it was because either he just decided he wanted to leave, thinking it wasn't worth it anymore, or the fact that that he thought more people might be on their way because of Yang finding him and Blake.
Okay.
It was. I think. I'm not for sure, but I think that's what it was.
Well, it's probably a good thing we're gonna be doing our marathon.
Yeah.
Well, with Hellsing, after she loses her arm, she also loses her eyesight.
Yep, all because of Zoran.
And Pip ends up coming to save her. And, picks her up, puts her, across his shoulders. Which I can't...
Starts walking down the hall to get her to safety.
And then it turns out there was still one...
soldier still alive.
Soldier vampire still alive. Barely shoots at Pip. Which just slows him down enough to where Zoran doesn't blow.
Yep.
And before then, Seras was trying to tell him, leave me here, go on and save yourself pretty much, seeing that, and Pip recognizes at that moment that Seras was important to win this war. Just as much as Alucard was. And if I can't remember, didn't he pretty much call him and his group kind of in a way like expandable?
Yeah, I think he did, because if you watch the episodes up to that, you could tell that Pip and his men knew they were not going to make it out of there alive.
No, they were not going to make it out there alive, They knew. They knew.
They knew they weren't going to come out of that alive. They knew. But luckily, 2 of them did.
Yeah. And, when Pip ends up, pretty much succumb to his wounds.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we had one of my favorite anime scenes of all time, to where Seras is in deep mourning and she's angry. She's upset. She's angry. She's heartbroken because her friend, someone that she was close to, is dying in her arms. And this was the first time. No. Let me back up. That was technically the 3rd time. No. Because of Squad and all that. So technically this was her 4th time.
Yeah.
She saw someone that she cared about pretty much die right in front of her. Or pretty much saw their corpse in some way. And
and oh boy.
It ends up, getting her to kiss him, which, as we said, gets the taste of his blood into her mouth.
Yep.
And she bites him, and then we have her transformation, and her eyesight comes back. And it was beautifully animated, and then she pulls a Broly, taking Zoran's head, slamming it into the wall, and just running and dragging it. Now, the difference between her and Broly, her version is a lot more violent. It's gruesome, because you're slowly seeing.
You just slowly see Zoran get decimated.
Yeah. And then what happens is, too, the 2 other wild geese recognizes, hey, she's our leader now, so we're going to follow her. And the smile that she gives to them, it's not a normal Seras smile, because Seras normally has a very happy, I'm not sure smile. It's either happy and joyful, or I'm not sure, I'm nervous smile. This smile was like a confident, mature smile, like a full-grown woman smile.
Yep.
And then of course we have another one of my favorite scenes is when she comes down and
saves Integra,
and then And then, of course, she's trying to act all big and bad. And then, of course, Integra finally goes, so, you finally did it. You became a vampire. And then she goes, Seras gets all happy. She goes, yes, I have. And then Anderson compliments her. Now, what I love about Anderson, right, is that much like Toguro, there's different layers. There's so many layers. He's very much a complicated character.
He really is.
At first, you want to hate him. But then you learn he's actually not bad. Because he doesn't like listening to Maxwell. He doesn't want to follow Maxwell's rules because he knows it's wrong.
Yeah. And the fact that he had so many people backing him up, too, during the fight, too. It's like, holy shit, Anderson, my dude.
And in pretty much, Hellsing has so many different messages in there. Probably my favorite message, and I point this out to you, no matter what your beliefs are, anyone is corruptible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we was talking about this earlier.
That's why during the first, 5 minutes, there's a Catholic or Christian priest that's now a freak vampire.
Yep. Probably because he wanted power. I'm gonna assume.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time too, he probably had previous history of doing bad shit. So that goes to show you that when people get into a position of power, either A, they get corrupted and they let the power get to their heads.
Yep.
Or B, they are actually a wise leader and they actually do what they need to do. Hellsing has shown both sides of that. Integra, she knows what she needs to do. She's a perfect leader. The Queen is a perfect leader.
Yeah, she is. I thought the Queen was pretty cool for the little bit she showed up.
Maxwell is very flawed. Anderson was shown to be very flawed.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I was gonna bring up the scene where Alucard was talking to him, which kind of got me in the feels a little bit because it's like, oh, Alucard. It got me in the feels.
Well, go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, the part I'm talking about is it is in the last volume, and Anderson brings out this. I don't know what it's called. I'd have to.
Holy relic.
Yeah, he brings out He brings out this holy relic, in hopes of defeating Alucard, and Alucard was like, okay. Alucard knew what it was he was trying to use because this man's been alive for centuries, so of course he would know what it is. Well, he pretty much, in his own words, told Anderson, I would want to die by human, not a monster. Don't become like me. And I'm just sitting here going, my heart right now. Holy shit. That tugged at my heartstrings, but pretty much Alucard was just telling Anderson, hey, you probably don't need to do that because, you should be fighting as you are, not creating yourself to be a monster like he became. And my brain just kind of died when I heard that. I'm like, oh my god. Because this was my first time watching Hellsing Ultimate as well. My only thing I knew of it was reading a manga in high school. That was about it. That was it.
And also watching a few clips.
Yeah, and watching a few clips. That was it. That's all I knew. That it gets to that part, and Alucard says, that shit is my heart. Like, legit, my heart. I'm just sitting here going, oh my god. But Anderson, because he wants to one-up Alucard and wants to be greedy about it, he does it anyways.
Which goes to show you that no matter, you want to defeat your enemy, and some people don't care if they lose their humanity.
To do so, yeah. Which is
Because
pretty much what happened to Anderson once he did that.
and in a lot of ways, this show goes back to the old Universal monster movies that sometimes the monsters aren't so bad compared to the human.
Yep, you aren't wrong on that one.
And probably the most interesting thing is that there's a whole theory about Walter that he was betraying them from the start with certain things. Like, how did how did the Valentine brothers knew where they were? The fact that he set up like a kill switch in the Jackal, which would automatically assume Seras probably had one in hers.
Oh yeah.
Which honestly, after she became a full vampire, she didn't need that gun anymore.
She did not need that gun anymore after she became a full vampire.
So there's so many theories, and there's so many theories on why people, wonder why Walter betrayed the Hellsing organization, and there's even cases that he was already in leagues with Millennium even before then. So,
in all honesty, we don't really know if he was or not.
There are so many theories on Walter's character, and I wish... apologies for all the yawns.
It's okay, babe. You're tired.
And in a lot of ways, my theory on Walter is that, he said in the show Clear as Day that he wanted to fight Alucard on a equal footing because he wanted to be the one to kill him because, he wanted to give him the fight that he wanted.
Yeah, he wanted to give Alucard the fight that he wanted.
I think that's why he did it. And there's even hints that he wasn't really on Millennium's side. He was only doing it to fight Alucard, to where at the end, Kid Walter lights a cigarette, and then finally the older one goes, which this kind of hits me in the feels because
that part did hit me in the feels.
Where he goes, we had a good run, didn't we, sir? Agra.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, Walter! God dang it!
And then he took out the doctor, like, almost like that was his last duty as a Hellsing
butler, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and plus too, like, there was also a moment with Walter and Seras that, Seras told Walter, thank you for everything, when she goes off with Tegra onto the blimp.
And Walter says...
And he breaks character for a moment.
Yeah, he does.
And like I said, I don't want to keep crapping on Ruby because I know, like, I've been going on a tangent about it, but it just I'm passionate about Ruby. I want Ruby to be the best as they can be, and if they were to learn from these other animes on how to do shit instead of making it appeal to American sensibilities, because Ruby has always meant to be a homage to Japanese anime. That's what it is. If they were to learn from Japanese anime, more so than try to bring in American sensibilities and, making a homage to certain political things, the show would be 10 times better.
Yeah.
Than what it is. And, I would be interested if like a group of fans out there, once Ruby's done and over with, if they decided to remake Ruby.
I would not put it past some fans doing that.
Um, because my theory is that we are getting ready to. I think that we're about at the end of. To have Salem all of a sudden show up and to confront the heroes, that says we're getting close.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, how long have we been recording?
45 minutes.
45.
We can. It's fine. It's fine. This is good. It's fine. It just shows how passionate you are about this right now.
But you know, and even the Major was a fun character to watch because all he wanted was war.
That's all he wanted.
That's all he cared about was war.
That man was obsessed with war.
He loved war. He loved everything about it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, there's probably people like that in real life. You know?
Yeah, you aren't wrong about that. There probably is.
I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories that we could go into about that, but I don't want to because...
Yeah.
You know, overall, because I don't want to make this too long. Thank God you get all my reaction videos up during the same day.
Yeah.
Well, overall, I recommend this series. I think it's very underrated. I think it's one of the best animes out there, and mangas for sure. And I will definitely be enjoying my Hellsing Deluxe Volume 1 from Dark Horse Comic.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be reading that shit. Actually, it comes later on, and it comes sometime later on today.
Oh, it does.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. You get it faster. I keep forgetting about that.
They will have it to where, like, if you order it within these hours, these minutes and hours, you could get it tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And I have gotten things the next day. So, I love Amazon Prime. I mean, do I still find thrill in going out and fighting shit in stores? Yeah, I do. I still enjoy the thrill of finding something, but I gotta be honest, Amazon makes things a lot more easier to find.
Mm-hmm. I can agree on that one.
Anyways, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. We're just fanboying and fangirling to the series now.
I want to apologize to any of your audiences if it seems like I was a little too hard on Ruby.
None. I'm pretty sure everybody has their criticisms about Ruby. I'm just putting it out there. I'm pretty sure everyone does. But, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Good grief, I almost forgot my own outro. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very rarely that we do videos like these.
Yeah, and when we do, I don't mind me. I enjoy doing these because these are fun because we get to talk about shit we like. I enjoy these, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And Shadow's channel will be in the end screen of this video. Make sure to go over to his channel and check it out. This man needs to get to 1K. He's slowly getting there, but he needs to get there. And I'll see you in my next video, which will be tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye everyone.
Peace.
We can't let evil win, take them out. This is justice, this is what's right.